Deja vu in the Cup final. An Otter gets the PDB sword. What the CUDA? We have a overflowing plethora of hockey topics, so join us right now on a jam-packed edition of Sunday Shark Bites here on Teal Town, USA. Good evening, everyone. It is June 1st, 2025. Welcome to Sunday Shark Bites here on Teal Town, USA. If you want to be part of the show, chat with us and fellow hockey fans all over the world, and especially in Sharks territory on the YouTube page or the app. You can follow us on the socials, and you can find everything at tealtownusa.com. And if you'd like to support the show, you can hit us up on Venmo at tealtownusa, or if you're watching us live, you can hit us up on a super chat. With that, I say good evening to Mr. AJ Strong.
Yellow.
And joined because she's got to wear my helmet for some reason.
I love this helmet. I'll have it on for like 5 minutes and then I'll take it off.
Yeah, sure, you will. It's Jules. I am Puck Guy. Great to have you with us on this Sunday night. Thankfully, it's cooled down here in the Bay Area. Oh my God.
Is it cool?
Oh well.
Are we sure?
I think so. I mean, I know you're not used to heat in this area.
No, I'm not. I also promise I take this off.
So with that, we'll begin with what the Sharks have done and then go from there. As the Sharks re-signed Shakir Mukhamadullin to $1 million deal, unlike another prospect who got a similar contract. AJ, I'll start with you. This a good deal, or I mean, not necessarily a prove-it deal, I guess, or maybe it is.
I mean, it's $1 million for 1 year, right?
Yep.
Okay. Prove you can make the jump, stick with the Sharks. I mean, sounds like a solid prove-it deal to me, especially when I wonder if it's a 1 year deal because we really don't know what this blue line is going to look like in 4 months.
You're right.
I mean, the entire blue line's expired after this year, so we don't know who's on it. So yeah, it's a prove it deal. It's show us what you got, and then we'll reward you with a pretty nice contract if you succeed or whatnot. But listen,
wait for 1 more year until the cap goes up just a scotch more.
Basically,
right. Team Teal also made some bona fide offers to a trio of 2024 draftees, including both fifth rounders Nate Miskey, who was in Victoria in the WHL, now heading over to UMass Lowell. Mark, we got another one for you to check out. And along with Colton Roberts of the WHL's Vancouver Giants, along with the recently traded Carson Wetch, who was the captain of the Calgary Hitmen and went to the Kelowna Rockets, who, as we were talking about before we went on the air,
hosting the Memorial Cup next year.
Right. So
yeah, this is fine. Like Nate Miskey is going to do well in the NCAA. I think it's a good step for him. He's a big, rangy defenseman, kind of underrated in the Shark system. Roberts is just a giant beast. Like, I think the shortest guy here is 6'2", and that's what's his face, Carson. So. Wetch he scored 30 goals this year with the Hitmen. Kelowna's hosting the Cup next year, so they need some more firepower there, and he'll do well for them. So solid, good job, Sharks.
Yeah, I really liked Carson Wetch's game. And all three of these guys had pretty nice years with their respective WHL teams. Curious how Miskey makes the jump over to college.
He'll be good. Yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, right? I think that's the lateral step here for Miskey. We'll see what Roberts decides to do, but my guess is he'll stay down in the W. So yeah, we'll see what happens here. But it's good for all three of them. Good to get them signed.
Yes. Yeah, indeed. We'll move onward to 10th and Alma, where the Barracuda announced that Andrew Podorowski requested to break his contract to pursue an opportunity outside North America. We kind of heard a little bit, perhaps premature, of rumors of Podorowski going to Avangard Omsk of the KHL. You know, I know we kind of mentioned it a little bit here and there, AJ, on there, but you know, it is interesting. He went back home to Western New York. for the birth of his little one. Congrats to his wife and everybody there. But was that kind of like a major red flag? You saw that, then the rumor as well.
I I don't know. You can't crack the roster on the 32nd team in the league.
Yeah, I mean it's tough, but I think they looked at him more so as a development guy, and I don't think
I don't think
Podorowski
he
wants to be.
wanted. I don't like. Listen, Potsy didn't really necessarily have anything negative to say. Like with previous veterans, it felt like they didn't say as, and I don't remember them saying so many nice things about San Jose per se. But look, like Potsy wanted a chance at the NHL. He's basically achieved everything you can in the AHL. I absolutely don't blame him for going to the K, probably making a buttload of money in the K, right?
Didn't he lead the A in scoring this season?
Yes.
Yeah, he also won MVP.
Yeah, so it's like, and you can't crack the lineup of the worst team in the NHL. I too would be get me the hell out of here.
And typically the Sharks, like Ian has said in the past, they would give those call ups to the veterans. But they didn't do that this year. They wanted to see what the kids have, and Ian said this before. Podorowski isn't the future, right?
Yeah.
It's your Igor Chernyshovs, it's your Thomas Bordelos, it's your Colin Graffs of the world, right? So
Well,
don't blame him.
if anything, I think if we want to try to put a bow on it or see it in a positive light, is it's another example of the Sharks doing right by a player who doesn't want to be here anymore.
True.
Also, they did give him some games, and again, to me, he didn't really stick out in those games all that much.
I'd be interested to. I can't remember who his line mates were, but it's like
he was on the second line center role, with
Kind of filled in for Wenberg.
kind of filled in for Wenberg when Wenberg was out. That was the time where like all their centers were injured. Also,
Yeah.
I don't think he stood out to be bad. I don't think he
No,
stood
he
out
just-
that he was electric
Yeah.
either. But then again, it's like if you can't crack the lineup of a team that's got Goodrow and Gregor on it, and some of these guys, and whatever.
Yeah, it's. I don't want to necessarily say he was a guy in the guy factor because I thought he was exceptional
great
for
for
the
the
CUDA. Yeah, it was great for the CUDA, but with the Sharks, the jump I guess was a little bit tough, and he voiced his opinion very much so on locker cleanout day, and I think
Hey,
maybe
it's just
good on the
refreshing somebody to hear somebody that honest.
Yeah, and the tough part is to you lose another veteran over the years. Again, you've had Agazino, you've had Ryan Carpenter come in and out of here. You hate to have it be a trend, but it's slowly becoming a trend. But that continues to be that trend, and now you lose the leading goal scorer. But now reports coming from originally from David Pagnon in the fourth period. So take that as you will. That John McCarthy has been signed to a contract extension. No official word yet, but I know there are things to be said in the fan base here because obviously there are some people looking at this team thinking they had way more loftier expectations going on.
I don't want to make excuses, but they were injury riddled. Like, let's not like losing Podorowski for that. For the playoffs, like hurt. Yes, they swept Ontario, but you were up against the 1 seed Eagles without your MVP. It's gonna hurt. Listen, do I love J-Mac being brought back? No, absolutely not. I don't think he's necessarily a good coach. I think we should have had Igor Chernyshov and Quentin Musty in the whole playoffs. But I'll rest my case there. Look, like they want guys to just graduate. They want the CUDA to be developmental based, and I guess they think John McCarthy provides that. So, if you look, next year's CUDA team should have the same expectation. We'll see because now they lost Podorowski, so we'll see who they brought in, right? But they're gonna get added guys like Haltman, Chernyshov again, and unless Chernyshov makes the Sharks and Musty. So I don't love this rehire, but I kind of get it in a sense where they're just looking for guys to graduate. They do not give a shit if the CUDA win or not. Yes, it's good they made the playoffs. Yes, they should be making the playoffs every year, but I don't think they're necessarily chasing a Calder. They just want their guys to graduate, go make the Sharks, and that's it. It sucks, but that's it.
HA, you want to add anything to McCarthy reportedly coming back?
No, sir, I don't like it. I mean, this is. I think we've been talking about this point for I don't know how long. It's just kind of to me, and I know Ian drives the bus on this point. It just comes off as the franchise doesn't appear to want to put any more money into the CUDA. It's bare minimum shoestring budget for those guys, despite getting their own barn. Let's be real. The Sharks could
Right.
have said, no, you can continue to play in the cavernous SAP Center. But also, to be fair, I'm quite sure that there were dates for the Barracuda where those could have been sold out concerts playing at that point. So it was, it's easier to give you your own barn. Not to mention the fact that we can use that ice for, beer league and stuff. So we're just contributing to making that whole complex larger, more ice sheets because it's constantly in use. Like there's never an ice
Right.
sheet that isn't being used. There is a demand there, but I just sit there and look at this and go, tell me who's the guy. And I get it. McCarthy hasn't had a lot of time behind the benches. This is third season. Is that am I accurate in saying that?
His first season, I believe, was 22. So yeah,
22, 23, yeah. So
yeah,
his third full season.
Full season.
He had that partial year
Was
when
it 21? I don't remember.
he had that partial year. I thought,
He had that weird COVID year,
and then
didn't he?
there was a weird COVID year. I thought, but also I thought there was Sommer moved up when PDB got fired. But that was a combination of a duo of coaches. I don't think that was McCarthy, although he was part of it. AJ, yeah, I think you're working on it to see if you can, turn up your mic a little bit, which is
or do I just need to speak louder? Is that what it is?
That'll work too. That's fine.
Either way, I don't care for this move. I know it's been 3 years. Give me the name of the player that he coached up.
They're
like
going to talk about.
I get real tired of hearing people talk about, Pavelski and Couture, and those guys are going to make the jump regardless of anything that Roy Sommer did. It's give me the guy that McCarthy had a huge impact for. Like, boy, if it wasn't for that coaching from McCarthy, I don't know if you know what I mean.
I mean, you could argue Colin Graff to a certain extent. Because you saw Graff's game at the end of the Sharks last year, and then you saw him. He didn't make the Sharks this year. He had a stint. What was it, like 40-ish, 30-ish games with the CUDA to start the year, and then when he came back to the Sharks, he just looked like a completely different player, right? So you could argue that. I'm not saying like I agree with what the Sharks are doing here. I don't like the move either, but I'm saying you could make that argument.
Okay, so to quote Logan Couture, that's one.
Yeah. They have also, again, I'm not counting any of what's his face's Doug Wilson Jr. prospects because he had Bordelot there for a while and Bordelot's just been fizzled out or gets injured. Like right when he gets hot, he seems to get injured, right? So I don't know. That's the first name that popped up. We could see how Shakir does right this year, where like if he's able to be a consistent NHL player, like he spent a good amount of time in the CUDA, right? What am I being yelled at for?
You're not being yelled at for, but Crafty Koala is asking who else besides McCarthy, though.
Bilesma was a guy I thought they would look into. The thing is, it hasn't been initially officially announced, so just say like we don't know what's happening there. But did London just score?
No.
Oh, okay. So yeah, like look. You could argue Shakir when he comes back. But yeah, there's guys like Bilesma. There's guys, there's always coaches out there, right, that you could give a shot to because you're giving a shot to a guy who, in my opinion, has just run out of runway. But apparently the org doesn't feel like that.
Okay. All right.
Has my volume gotten any better, people?
I thought so. Let's take the chat. You can apparently you're whispering sweet nothings into the high glove side, according to.
I'm just waiting for Ian to return.
Yes. Okay. This game has to hurry up. If
It's
anything,
4-1 right now. London. Gavin McKenna scored for the Medicine Hats. It was 4-0. Sam Dickinson's rocking a 3-assist game. For those keeping track at home, Sam Dickinson is very good.
Yeah.
And we should probably talk about him at some point and where he's going to end up next year because that's That's going to be fascinating.
That'll be a conversation that we have down the road, for sure on this edition.
What
So
else?
let's move onward to the Stanley Cup playoffs, where the conference final wrapped up quicker than we thought. And
But such a
fucking-
bad conference final. Horrid.
Putrid.
let's talk about Dallas Edmonton. Stuart Skinner outdueled Jake Ottinger in 5 games, but game
That's a
5,
sentence.
yeah, right. Game 5. Oh, I mean, what a moment.
It's that. It's the sloth getting drugged out of the rink right there. That was Jake Ottinger in game 5. That.
Did anybody get the chance to go rub Wyszynski's face in it because he picked the Stars to win the whole thing?
I think a lot of people picked the Stars to win the whole thing. But look, like, I mean, I guess I'll let Puck Guy explain it.
Well,
first before we get into it.
but Otter lets in 2 goals on 2 shots after a TV timeout. PDB loses it and pulls him. I mean, I don't think I've seen an animated thing like that in some time for a goalie in an elimination game. But then he doubles down post game. Let's take a look
Horrible.
at that. Is there audio? You gotta love when PDB just shuts up. It'd be a good idea for him to do that, but just basically went off a little bit and doubled down on Jake Ottinger here. Saying, I mean, if he's got that bad record against the Oilers, why didn't you start Casey DeSmith in Game 5 already?
AJ, I promise I'll let you talk in like 3 seconds. I just want to get this off my chest real quick. Here's my issue with this whole situation. It wasn't even the quote after. Like, yes, that's bad. It's the fact that you pulled your starting goaltender in an elimination game 7 minutes in. What was it, 7 or 6? Like, one, congrats, you have big balls for doing that, buddy. But like, secondly, like, yes, he allowed 2 goals on 2 shots, but you're the Dallas fucking Stars. You can score goals, and yes, you weren't scoring this series, but you can score goals. You have Rantanen, you have Robertson, who was heating up. Like, it wasn't a death sentence. That was just such a dumb move. And then to go on and make that comment after you embarrass your goalie in front of everyone, that's just asking to get fired on the spot. I'm shocked he hasn't been fired.
What was the comment?
Let me pull it up. Puck, I have it saved in my.
You have it? Grab it really quick. But it was just really interesting how he just doubled down and said 6 out of 7 losses against Edmonton. It's more than enough sample size.
So, okay, then it's on you, asshole, for not starting somebody else.
Yeah, that's basically like, I'm trying to pull it up, boys. Give me 2 seconds. But DeBoer, I didn't blame it all on Jake, but the reality is, if you go back to last year's playoff, he lost 6 of 7 games to Edmonton, and we give up 2 goals on 2 shots in an elimination game. That's a pretty big sample size. Like, that's basically saying, I don't blame Jake, but this is all your fault. Congrats. Also, it gave, like, back when Pete DeBoer stabbed Fleury, and when Alan Walsh did that. Drew's about to. Drew from SDPN made this beauty.
I pull this up
Producer
here.
Drew.
Producer Drew with the Photoshop. That went all over the place, but the DeBoer sword strikes again.
I mean, there's no way he's back, right? Like, you gotta think, like, how the hell can that happen? Bless Ottinger post game.
Yes.
Okay. I haven't seen.
Oh.
There we go. There you go, buddy.
I mean, that's just
solid. But
just,
I mean, it makes me wonder how long DeBoer has on his deal.
Oh, he's gone. There's no way you can bring him back after that comment.
I mean, that's if we, talk to our buddy Gen X. I mean, he's always been on the DeBoer. You get his best the first season, and then after that, it you don't get it, and after that, and that's proven to be the case the whole time. It's what happened. He went to Vegas, and they got close, but Did they win it with him? No, they won it with somebody else. And then he goes to Dallas, and makes you wonder.
And 3 straight trips to the conference final. That might be the one thing that might be saving him right now.
I still don't know how you bring him back after those comments. Like,
yeah, and
Well,
I know
to your point, 3 straight visits and can't get over the hump. Maybe it's
True.
somebody else needs to do it.
Did they
Maybe
lose
somebody else would have seen those numbers and said, "We're not starting Ottinger."
didn't they also go down in numbers? Because didn't they lose the first year on like 7? What was it in the conference? I think they went like 7-6-5 of like just losing games or like getting losing series. My bad, but
Although I do love the fact that DeBoer now holds the record. What was it? He got some ridiculous record that his team. What was it? Like they coughed up a 3-0 lead going into the third or something. It's like he's the only coach to have what happened in 2019.
Oh,
and then there was some other game this playoffs that was like some ridiculous comeback or whatever.
I think it was Game 7 against Colorado where he was down. I think
Okay, yeah,
2-3-0 in the third. I know McKinnon had scored.
2-0.
had to have been 3-0. I thought.
And
maybe.
That was the whole thing about it. Was the whole down 3. Either way, to be behind the bench for both of those is like, okay, good on you, and here's your pink slip. Goodbye.
Right. So we'll see how that goes. It's definitely going to be an interesting offseason. Although, let's be honest here, offense dried up for Dallas in this. I mean, Jason Robertson was the
only one scoring.
4 goals in the 5-game series. He likely called Joe Pavelski for motivation after, for that. But, Mikko Rantanen's revenge tour kind of disappeared midway through the Winnipeg series.
Saw the meme, but Mikko Rantanen, both teams that he was traded to lost 3-4-1 in the series. So he had a choice of which way you wanted to lose 4-1. I think he chose the right way because Carolina got their asses kicked to Timbuktu and back.
Yeah, and speaking of which, Carolina goes down 4-1 to the Florida Panthers.
I can't believe that happened that fast.
I was thinking it would at least go 6, but I'm surprised how
At least they didn't get swept.
Yeah, they got one.
Did you see PK's bracket? Holy shit.
God, that was bad.
That was comically bad.
That was bad.
PK's bracket, he had 2 right in the first round.
Well, and who? Oh, I wish I could remember who it was. It might have been Panyota. There was somebody, some national guy who, after the first round, put, I went 7-1, and then he put like, the names of other people, like LeBron went 6-2, and Pierre or Friedman went like 5-3 and blah blah blah. But you could kind of tell that the tweet was like, did okay the first round, went 7-1, and like so did I. It was like, and so I hit him back, and I'm like, yeah, you and me both, bro. What's your point?
I mean, to be fair, I should not be the one talking about dead brackets, but like my bracket was Avs Tampa, so yeah, PK's bracket was horrid. No, but like in regards to the Dallas Edmonton series, like, can we talk about how good Edmonton is? Because they were down 0-2 versus the Kings, and then since that point, I believe they're 14-2 or something crazy like that. 14
that good, but the thing that gets me so far is the fact that they've been able to overcome when Skinner has a bad game. That wasn't the case previously.
Gotcha. And kudos to Stuart Skinner for turning it around. I mean, Pickard did a heck of a job early on after Edmonton was down 0-2 and helped things. And poor guy gets sick. Next thing you know, Stuart Skinner found his game all of a sudden.
I mean, isn't that what happened last year also? I think Pickard had to start a game last year also. Like, Skinner just does not know how to start playoffs, but he'll turn it up at the right time. Like, we've learned throughout these years, you don't need like that number 1 goalie to win a cup. And before you go saying Aiden Hill's a number 1 goalie, no, he's not. Sorry, guys. Sorry, Vegas. Like, you can win a cup with like not a Vasi like goalie, right? So Hopefully the Edmonton doesn't this year.
I still go back to what we talked about when Blackwood was traded to Colorado, and we were literally saying Edmonton couldn't have come up with a better deal.
Yeah.
Right.
And look, Blackwood's now golfing, so.
And he's having a fine damn job at it as well.
Yeah, probably.
So with the results
Oh,
of
that was
of the conference finals, the Sharks will pick 2nd and 30th.
Henry
In-
Brusevich, you are a San Jose Shark.
So we'll see how that happens. What happens there? Join us between now and then. We'll have draft coverage right up to draft day, and we'll be live from the Shark Tank among all other places in the area to check out what goes down draft day. We're starting to put the pieces together, so make sure you hit that subscribe button down below.
We'll have a draft show.
Oh, we'll have many draft shows. We may have pre-draft shows. So
Yeah. No, but there's going to be some good players at 30th. There's a clump of defensemen that are going to be probably taken in like the late first round, like 22 to let's say 29, I'd say, around that range where you'll see sort of this run of defensemen. And there are some guys there that I really like, or the Sharks could just trade the pick. So we'll see what they do.
Fiddler, I know.
Fiddler.
Blake Fiddler is
Oh my God.
one of their.
Boumediene.
Is that a relation to Yuri?
No, Burn Fiddler, was it? Remember the guy who made fun of Kevin BX and
Yeah, wasn't that Yuri Fiddler?
I thought it was Burn Fiddler, but either way, the guy from Dallas.
Yeah, that was one of the funniest videos I've ever seen. Dude, what was the? Oh God, what's the coach?
Elaine Vigneault.
Yeah, Vigneault. Oh, was that? Yeah, it was Vancouver. Yeah, back in the day. Oh my God,
That was still the best.
that might be still my favorite video of hockey ever.
And then you hear Shorthouse like, Elaine,
Like, cheer up. Yeah, cheer up, Elaine. What are you doing? And then you can see the people behind the bench, the fans, are sitting there laughing their asses off at this because he had lost control at that point. Like he could not stop laughing. And what's funny is BXO was like, I don't get it.
You're right.
Yeah. Sorry, hold up real quick. Can you put Pat's thing up? Yeah, Pat, I get that. The thing is the Sharks are gonna pick 30th and 33, so I wouldn't be surprised if they package that for something that can help the team now, or if they package that and trade up for a guy who's closer to helping the team now. It's really gonna depend what the trade market is, right? Like we all say Noah Dobson, like the Islanders right now are kind of a hot mess. So we'll see what happens. But I get that. But I'm just throwing out names if we do pick at that spot, which we might.
It's going to be very curious as to what Matthew Darche does. And now we're already starting to get speculation that the Sharks are trying to move up to one
to grab Schaefer, which probably means the Islanders are grabbing Schaefer at 1.
Yeah.
That's probably confirms that.
Yeah. So I mean, that kind of looks like.
But how much of that is just
pure speculation?
Okay. You call it that. I call it clickbait.
Sure.
Which,
I mean,
I'm so
both can be true.
but I'm so fed up with the clickbait. I saw some article, and it's like the people that write this stuff. I get it. They're fine people. They're fine writers. But sometimes you see the headlines and you're like, "Whew, boy, really? This is like I understand you gotta play the game, but Jesus Christ, where would Celebrini been drafted if he went out, if he was in the 2007 draft? Who gives a fuck? He wasn't in it, so who cares?
Yeah. No, I get that.
I see that and I'm just,
Yeah, Pat. Yeah, Brusevich is another guy, which is for those of you who are watching the Memorial Cup, keep an eye out for London's defenseman Henry Brusevich. His brother is a Vancouver Canuck prospect. Yeah, that sounds about right. I think he was traded there in one of the trades. That's probably your ideal candidate, right? Right D. I think he's taller than 6 foot, so he should be good to go by Mike Greer.
Well, look, when it comes to this draft stuff, it's like we all know it's Schaefer at 1, Misa at 2. That's what
Yeah.
it is. And
The draft starts at 3.
and
The draft starts at 3.
Exactly. Draft starts at 3. If for some ridiculous reason the Islanders go off script, which I don't know why they would, but if for some reason the Islanders go off script and decide to go a different route, then we can talk about that when it happens.
Yeah.
But to sit here and waste time going, well, if nobody, what ifs? No.
The only way I see them going completely off the board is Higgins, who's a huge Islander fan and grew up, I think, in that
Grew
area.
up in the Long Island area.
That's
yeah.
the only way I humanly see them. But even then,
let me ask you this: does anybody have
Oh,
something that would be a worthwhile offer to the Islanders to move up a couple spots? Is there somebody just behind the Sharks that would sit there and go, we really want Schaefer, but we'll put you in a position, Islanders, where we're going to give you some good shit to make this deal, but you'll also get Higgins?
Oh,
To move up
Wait.
to 1 and then have them and then move down to make sure that you get
oh,
Higgins.
so that'd be Chicago, right? That has Chicago written all over it. But the thing is with Chicago is I don't think they go Schaefer if they move up. I think they go Misa if they move up. Like Chicago, you look at their draft picks, you look at their assets they have. They're a team I can see that, hey, maybe we give up one of our younger defenseman prospects who we have about a bajillion. The Chicago's defensive system is terrifying for a Sharks fan.
So is there somebody else, like Faulty Synapse is saying Utah? Paul is saying
Yeah,
Utah.
Utah's fascinating, right? Because they were.
Where are they
I
at?
think
6?
They're at
That
4.
They were the
Oh my
one that
God,
won the second
4.
draw.
They would be a very fascinating choice, right? Because they're a team that.
What else do they have to give the Islanders to make that move?
I'm assuming it'd be like the 4th overall pick, Michael Kesselring.
Kesselring.
Like
Yeah,
it'd be
Mike
something
Kesselring. Yeah.
like
Is that from
something
last
like
season?
that. Huh?
Is that from last year's draft?
No, he's one of their. He was from the what draft? 2019 was it?
I believe so.
Yeah, he was from the 2019. Really good young defenseman. 23 fits Utah's timeline, or sorry, fits
New York.
Could help the Islanders right now and not later. So
All right.
he's a one that could work. I could see them parting ways with maybe not Josh Doan because the Doan connection, but yeah, Utah's fascinating. I think Porter Martone is going there. but
Okay. Let me draw you a picture for a moment. We're at the tank. It's the NHL draft, the 2025 NHL draft. The New York Islanders select Schaefer.
Yeah.
And you hear everybody in attendance, boo, fuck, grumble, grumble,
AJ, seriously?
Then
Fuck off.
the second pick comes to the Sharks. And rather than taking Misa, they do something like Martone or Eklund. Are we going to hear a bunch of boos?
Okay, so the only one I can
gosh.
visibly see happening in that situation is Martone, and even yes, you'll probably hear some boos. You don't pass up on Michael Misa,
Yeah, that's what
that's
I'm saying.
you would hear boos. I would not be happy.
I don't think you move up 1 or you go away from 1 or 2. If you move up to 1, okay, fine. But don't give a boatload to move up one freaking.
It better be a minimal, because the thing is I've seen people argue that Misa is better than Schaefer. I've seen boards have it be where Misa is 1. Some people have Misa ranked as their number 1, and I completely get that, right? Schaefer's played a very small sample size. This kid was injured. He did break his collarbone at World Juniors, but when he was there, he was by far Canada's best player.
It's like Collarborn. Is that
Collarborn?
Yeah, I was like, is that guy related to Jason Bourne?
No, but you see what I mean? I could easily see a world where the Islanders look at this and they're like, hey, Misa overall.
Misa horny.
I
Come on. Are we not going to have those T-shirts? Come on.
And sell a weenie while we're at it? Jesus Christ, Sharks, can we stop with
Doug Benz,
sell a
you're
weenie?
watching.
Never mind. All right.
Oh, no. Can we stop with the... Oh, my God. That started on day
called
1
that?
with the fucking Calder Brini thing.
Oh, come on.
Calder Brini until he's a Calder. He's not. It's Hudson's thing to lose.
I mean, Will Smith, we can say he can get jiggy with it if we're going that far.
Misa
4-1.
Thank you.
Yeah. Sorry to jump in there, guys. 4-1. They're going to their final TV timeout. in Rimouski. London is up 4-1 on Medicine Hat. Gavin McKenna gets a goal, but it's called back for, it looks like, was it a high stick or a hand pass on there? So we'll see how that goes on there. Hopefully we'll jump on. We'll get Ian jump on while it's final, when it's final on there.
Yeah, Ian's been watching, I think, almost every game of this Memorial Cup. So he'll have some good deets for us when this game ends.
Gotcha. So we kind of jump back into the Stanley Cup Final. It is the third time in the last 43 years that we have a rematch. Islanders, Oilers in 83-84. You have the 08-09 battles between Detroit and Pittsburgh, and then now it's Florida and Edmonton. The previous two times in 83 and 08, the Islanders and the Detroit won, but the following year, the opposite team won, Edmonton and Pittsburgh. Obviously, if that happens, the Canadian drought ends after 32 years for a Canadian.
Bettman's crying in a corner.
And what does that do for Connor McDavid, who will be eligible to re-sign on July 1st? If he wins the cup, does that change things for him?
I mean, Edmonton's still gonna have to pay him a buttload of money. I think that buttload of money just goes up, right? Like if he gets another Conn Smythe and they win the cup, that's like highest paid player, 16.5, right? Because the cap's going up. So like, yeah, honestly, my prediction for this series is Edmonton in 7. I just think you saw the look on Draisaitl's and Connor's face after they blew that lead in Game 1 versus Dallas. Those look like two villains looking to trample the league and win a cup. Like they are single-handedly just going. And Edmonton's defense has never been this strong. Who's saying hi?
Hi, Laurel. Good to see you, my friend. Since day one, Laurel's been one of our, if not the biggest fan here. So, Laurel, good to see you. Sorry to interrupt there.
You're good. I think this is the year Edmonton finally does it. And naturally, I am the cursed of all curses. So I'm so sorry, Edmonton.
Whew. I don't know. I mean, Florida, they've got the history. They're a team that knows how to win. They just completely ran roughshod over Carolina. Like, to me, Carolina has improved, or I'm sorry, not Carolina, Florida. Florida's gotten better every single series. Like, they're continuing to power up each time. This... And I love the fact that like McDavid had to touch the trophy because when he didn't do it last time, it didn't work.
Superstitions.
Did you see?
It's like, nope, sorry, little stitious, maybe, never superstitious. No, not doing it. But for me, I'm super duper rooting for Florida because fuck those guys. But So you're telling me McDavid is UFA after this season?
He can re-sign starting 2026. He's eligible for contract extension starting 2026, I believe.
So he's got one more year left.
Let's see. I might be very wrong.
No, he is entering his UFA year this coming season.
Start signing July 1st.
Okay, so that's what I thought because I have a friend in Toronto who was telling me that they're just like, Tavares and Marner, they're gone. Riley can go kick rocks, blah, blah, blah. A lot of the talk out here is that Toronto is going to chase and open up the money bag to try to get McDavid to Eastern Canada, which to me, I sit there and I'm like, hell yes. Let's handcuff this franchise for another decade. Absolutely. By overpaying somebody. I would love to see that. But there's that sadistic part of me that wants to see McDavid win the cup only because it would just up his value just a scotch more that he can, he doesn't have the whole thing wrapped around his neck, pulling him down that says can't win the big one. He'll have the big one, he'll have the shiny thing, and FA, the fact that the city of Edmonton would fucking burn down if the Oilers don't re-sign him and keep him lifelong there like Pittsburgh did with Crosby. Holy crap. Because, Edmonton, they get that first taste of it. They're going to expect to repeat next season. And if they aren't able to hold on to him, and you see how much money other teams are going to have, you've got the rising cap, and you look at it that maybe McDavid is like, okay, finally got her done here. Now I'm going to go get the big fucking paycheck that's closer to like where I grew up or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who knows what's in his head?
I will say, though, all the fan bases are going to be like Connor McDavid to this, right? Like, I'm sure we'll see a few Sharks fans being like,
we're going
Connor
to see
McDavid.
1,800 blogs and 15,000
Yeah.
tweets that all say McDavid to blank.
So, AJ, I got to ask you, all right? You ready for this?
Whip it out.
Let me have my moment. How do you feel about McDavid, Marner, Celebrini line for the Sharks in 2 years?
I mean, it's never going to happen, but I love it. I keep on hearing about all the talk about Marner to San Jose, and
that's not happening.
It's exactly that. And
I'm like,
that's one of
he
the
doesn't
reasons
fit.
why I lose my shit sometimes when I read social media, where I just go, "Fuck, you guys are just chasing engagement."
I will say though, Marner
it's
would
clickbait.
Marner would be the best Sharks defenseman.
Absolutely.
Wow.
And then, right now, yes.
Wow.
Right now, at the
Right now,
moment,
yes.
Marner would be their best defenseman.
Yeah.
He's-
Unless Dickinson makes the jump.
But even then, like, this kid is 18 years old.
Yeah.
No, 18 what? No, 18 or 19. Sorry, I cannot remember all the Sharks prospects' ages. But, like, this kid is young. Like, he's going to need some time, and he's going to need a veteran to bring him along. And
Am I the only one that finds it funny that Jules is going, this kid is young? I'm sorry. What's your ID say on your birthday?
22, sir.
That's okay then.
I mean, 18, 22, I can legally drink. He can't. In some parts of Canada, he
I was
can.
going to say, depends on
Where you're at. But, like, I can legally drink in the U.S., which is where I'm at.
All right.
I know the Sharks have to spend money, but
Not on Mitch Marner.
But there is
Yeah.
just
I agree.
I'd
it's
rather
just an
just
awful UFA.
Throw the
out
bag at Eklund. Fuck, not Eklund. Pay Eklund, but like throw the bag at
Sure.
Ekblad. I'd rather give him like a 3-year, whatchamacallit, like 9. That's probably too high, but you're gonna have to overpay a bit. You have no blue line signed past this year. What the fuck are we doing?
This is the
That's
point.
what you've been saying. Yep.
Yeah, I've been bitching about this blue line since I think we started this.
Well, you only have a
podcast.
year left of it, AJ, so enjoy it, buddy.
Yeah, but I'm still just like, we're going to talk to Dan Boyle during the NHL draft. I'm going to ask him what he's got going on this current, this upcoming season. Like, hey, feel like playing again? Because it's just like, I mean, like Ferraro's going to be on the final year of his deal.
Traded.
No.
We're finally getting rid of Vlasic.
Hallelujah.
Yeah. So,
No,
and
look.
then everybody else that's on the blue line this season, you're just kind of like, Greer has his work cut out, and it's all about the fucking blue line. You have to build that. You got Askarov. Got your guy. I'm still not completely sold on the guy, but based on, when you put him up against the other guys that he has to deal with, since Blackwood's not here anymore, sure. Okay, he's going to be your de facto number one. But this blue line, oi.
I will say though, he does have a clean slate after this year with the blue line, right? The only guys I'd really expect to stay are guys like Thompson and Mook, right? Which are your young kids, but you have to surround those young kids with veterans, and that's what I'm saying. A guy like Ekblad would kind of fit in just right for the Sharks.
Sure, but my point is the two names that you put out there. Say them again. Thompson.
Oh, Thompson and Mook.
Yeah.
Those are the only two I'd expect past this
And
season.
neither of them are top pairing guys.
No, but they don't have that guy yet. Dickinson isn't ready to be that guy yet, right?
And okay, my point is that
but, like,
Greer has so much to work on, and to me, job one is putting together your top pair. because they ain't on the team right now.
Yeah.
But again, like that's why you have to be patient with Dickinson, right? And then once he does come on that team, and it's going to take him some time. So yes, he does have his job cut out for him, but I honestly think he has one of his top guys kind of already in San Jose or like in the farm, right?
Sure. I
And
don't
he
mind
does
if
have
he's in
guys
the
like
farm.
Cagnoni also. Polkamp's a good guy. Like
Pole camp, and sorry to interrupt there, but that
was I
we got
not
a
like
lot
the
of chat.
biggest pole camp guy last
were. You
Yeah.
were.
prospect?
Yep.
Him and Cam Lund were your two favorites, I believe.
Yeah.
I like a guy in his dogs earlier was saying, wait till you get a closer look at Pole Camp. I think he'll be a completely different player than this year.
I loved him at the prospect scrimmage
Yeah,
last season.
he looked really good. And the same thing with I've been so ignored for taking up Miskey in here.
Miskey's another guy. I think this year in dev camp and development camp in the prospect scrimmage. Watch out for Nate Miskey, right hand shot, 6'3". You know, the only thing I think, if I remember correctly, what brought him down in his draft year was his skating. But if that kid can figure out his skating, he's gonna be a steal for where he was taken. Also, don't forget Luca Cagnoni is alive.
Small but alive.
Quinn Hughes, small. Lane Hudson, small. It's starting to be a larger market, I would say, for smaller defensemen.
It's what my we refer to our smallest cat who kicks ass in the house. Small but mighty.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
that's what they call me in
BRB,
ball
so go
hockey.
full.
Okay.
That's what they call me in ball hockey, small but mighty.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just gonna remove him for right now, just because I know he's been having some issues for a moment. But I'll put us up here. So Jules, while we talk about ball hockey, you got a couple of assists the other night for or the other day.
Winning?
Yeah, London is up 4-1 with 43 seconds left. It looks like this is going to be it for the London Knights.
I want to see their celebration.
As
I always judge
their juggernaut will reign supreme. And for Ian, I think he can. I know we're going to have him. I hope he's going to come on in a sec. I know we're kind of like near the end of it here, but I know Ian is like finally can be. I can stop being a partial London Knights fan.
Still have to next year, depending on what they decide with Sam Dickinson. So, for those of you who don't know, Sam Dickinson is fascinating to see what happens with this kid. Because he signed his ELC, he cannot go back. He can't go to college, so he can't do the Nate Miskey route.
Yeah.
But he's not old enough for the AHL, so they can't send him to the A. So their only option is to send him back to the London, who probably won't be as strong, but it's London, so I'm never going to count them out, or send them to the NHL. And my bet is he gets 9 games and gets sent back down to juniors.
You're saying this for who?
Sam Dickinson.
Okay.
Because Casper Hall, then he can just go to the A, no problem. Yeah. Or they just keep him in the NHL, right? Like, this blue line's god awful. What can go wrong?
Yeah.
London is about to win the Memorial Cup.
And there is a stoppage in play with 1
Are you serious? Just
left.
let them.
Yep, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to let it go, and the London Knights are your 2025 Memorial Cup champions. Sam Dickinson.
Cue the Jonathan Becker tweet in 3, 2.
Third time in team history. I can't believe it's only been third time, considering how big of a juggernaut they have. So we'll see. 4-1 the final there. Hopefully getting Ian on in just a jiffy here. But they're going nuts. Sam Dickinson, I just
he had 3 assists this game.
I mean,
yeah, Sam Dickinson's skating just blew my fucking mind, man. Like, I knew he was a good skater, but then you watch him and like there are shifts where he just takes it over with his skating.
And how is William, whatever his fucking name was? Yeah, how's he done? Because that was the guy that everybody was like, oh, it was like, are they going to go William? Are they going to go Dickinson? What the, there's a lot of people that said they should have took Zaiv.
I think Zeev was a part of that U.S. team that won the gold with Warsofsky. Look, like he had a really good year in college, right? I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's 1 year past the draft. I'm not going to sit here and be like the Sharks made a terrible mistake taking Dickinson instead of Zeev Buium, right? I'm not going to do that. But look, like Dickinson's an amazing prospect. I think Sharks fans are going to grow to love Sam Dickinson.
But
Yes,
this
there's
is
going
one
to
of
be an
those ones
adjustment
that
period.
8 years from now, we're all going to have a really fun time pulling
Oh,
revisionist history on.
But also that draft was stacked with D-man.
Yeah, and William did come out of college to play. We lost Ian.
That draft was literally the opposite of this upcoming draft.
No, yeah, seriously.
Right.
Next year's draft, there's I think a little stronger. But
There we go.
There.
hi, Ian. Ian, aren't you so happy London won?
Yeah.
Your favorite team?
Absolutely.
That's the spirit, but what
I'm happy for Sam Dickinson and Casper Holtman. As for I mean, look, it was fine. Like, it was a good tournament. I thought it was a really good tournament. Probably one of the best ones in recent memory. I think when you look at the teams that were in there, I thought they were all really, like, the field was really good. And I know people like, well, Rimouski didn't win a game, and that's true. But in a short tournament like this, that happens all the time, right? When you have like four teams round robin, and then elimination games, it's going to happen. But Rimouski, they were the host city, and the host cities have been kind of a little bit weak in the last few little bits.
right.
They've been bounced earlier in the playoffs, but this Rimouski team took Moncton to 6 games in the Q final. Obviously London and Medicine Hat Tigers, who they beat tonight, won their path to get there. And I don't know, I thought it was a really good tournament. I thought Sam Dickinson was fantastic. Casper Holtman was fine.
To be fair, Ian has 3 levels. It's everything is awesome,
Yeah,
and fuck those guys.
Yeah, basically.
We were talking about it before you jumped on.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Dickinson, 9 games. Do you think he gets 9-game look at the?
They should. I think they should play him until he, like. I think Sam Dickinson. I understand that people are gonna be like, oh, but the contract. You got to slide the contract. But in my opinion, you play Sam Dickinson in the NHL until he shows you he absolutely can't.
Yeah.
And then you send him back to junior. Fuck the contract. Let the contract burn. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, and I would assume Haltonen jumps over.
Yeah, he'll play with it.
Holtman is his time in the OHL is done. He will be on the Barracuda next
He
year.
is the new Podorowski.
Oh gosh, with the wicked one-time shot, that's for
Yeah,
damn sure.
he'll have fun on the power play.
Yeah, no, he'll be at least at the bare minimum on the Barracuda next year, full time.
Speaking of Barracuda, not to piggyback on things, but let's get your comments on losing Podorowski first, and then John McCarthy now reportedly being re-signed as head coach.
So let me start. Well, I'll start with Podorowski. I mean, we've talked about this on previous shows. I think we talked about this on Pucknologists when the rumor first came out. This is a situation where both sides are right, in my opinion. I understand, so I'll do Podorowski first. I understand his perspective, right? When he signed here, he saw the year before all those guys, all those guys that were like the tweener guys. Those were all the guys that got called up, right? So he's signing here, and he's like, okay, well, let's see if I get a chance to live out the dream, right? And that's what he's trying to do. He's trying to live the dream. So I don't really fault him for that. But on the other hand, from the Sharks' perspective, this is a team that did the right thing by what they're supposed to be doing in the team. They have to get guys looks, especially some of the guys they brought up, right? Like guys that they have to make a decision on this summer. Daniel Yushin, they had to get another look at him to try and, he got a good look to start the season because there's decisions that they have to make. And you want guys like Gushin and Colin Graff. Those are the guys you want getting the shots, because when this is all going to be over, those are the guys that are going to be on this team. Those are the guys that are supposed to be a part of the future, or potential to be a part of the future. Podorowski, as much as I love him and as much as I love what he did for the Barracuda, he is an AHL, NHL tweener at best. So, he is now what he is going to be. So yes, I understand why he would be frustrated and he's disappointed. He's trying to get a chance to crack an NHL lineup, and you know, I understand. I wholeheartedly sympathize with them, but I think the Sharks did the right thing. So I think it's a situation where now he's got to consider things too, right? Because this is a guy who's going to have to go to, this is a guy who's as you get older, especially in the AHL, like there's only a finite number of spots for those kinds of guys, the veteran guys, right? It's a development league. So there's only so many spaces for those guys. So he's got to start thinking of his situation too, right? He's a family. He's got X numbers of years for earning, right? Like this is never going to be a guy who's going to be get that multi-million-dollar deal in the NHL. He's going to be the guy that's going to, hopefully make some decent coin playing in the A, but it's not going to be what some of these other guys are going to be stuffing in their
Right.
pants when it's all said and done. So I mean, if he's got an opportunity to make significantly more money in the KHL, like I don't blame him. I would do the same thing. I think he's got to look out for himself and his family. And some guys have gone over to the K, and have translated that into a shot in the NHL. And so I sympathize with them. I understand his frustration, but at the same time, I don't think the Sharks did anything wrong.
Right. And as for McCarthy,
Fuck that guy.
I mean, it wasn't unexpected. Like I didn't think that there was any chance that he wasn't going to be back. I think that
Because it's the cheapest option.
correct. Yeah, exactly. I don't think the Barracuda. I don't think the Barracuda care about winning. Like, I don't think the Sharks care if the Barracuda win or not, as long as they develop talent. Now, are they developing talent? That will remain to be seen, but I think that is what's important. I think winning in the AHL is gravy for them, but they don't give a shit if they're winning as long as they're graduating players to the NHL. That's my opinion.
I get that. I respect that. Jules
So-
is watching the.
Sorry, I'm trying to see. Sam Dickinson made the All-Star team for the Memorial Cup, so
Yeah,
we'll
we're
see.
seeing what they're trying. I think the MVP trophy will come out shortly. We're seeing if maybe
I don't know if
Dickinson
has,
or
or-
Haltonen.
it's not going to be Haltonen.
No, it's probably Ethan Cowan, to be
It's
honest.
probably going to be Cowan, but
So we'll see on that. Let's. I know you kind of mentioned what you said. Oilers in 7, guys.
Yeah,
What
Oilers in
did you guys pick for this Cup final? Besides it going 7 games.
This Oilers team makes no fucking sense, right? Like every time you think like
We
they
said
have
last
this
year.
big fatal flaw, like they're fine, right? But it's the Florida Panthers and they're so good too. It's so hard. I don't know. I've been wrong a lot, so I'm gonna probably continue to be wrong. I'm taking the Cats just because I think that I think that Bobrovsky is a better goalie than they faced all thing. Stuart Skinner, I don't know. I like Voodoo Magic, Stuart Skinner.
he's the definition of it. Look it up in the dictionary. It says Stuart
God,
Skinner.
It's just
Also-
like I don't know. I feel like it's dumb to continue like thinking the Oilers can't do it, but I'm gonna take the Cats. I don't care at this point, man.
Ian, I gotta ask you, how's the bracket living up?
Bracket's dead. Bracket died round 1.
Oh, jeez.
love you.
Sleepy Mofo asking, does Canada take a national holiday if Edmonton wins?
Probably.
Probably. I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure Gary Bettman's crying in the corner. I've said that like 5 times, but
I would
Oh,
think.
they don't know. That's good. It's great for Gary Bettman, man. Canadian
Oh,
team being in the
yeah.
playoffs is great. Like it's great because maybe people in the States won't watch it, but people up here will.
In the chats, Ricky Bartenslinger saying Perry doesn't win. It's Florida. So,
oh yeah, Perry.
how many-
How many Stanley Cups has he been to and lost?
I
He's
mean,
been so
Like
good.
like
five
though.
of
3
6,
straight.
right?
Yeah, he's been so good though. Like that's the thing, and that's why like this Edmonton team gives me pause. Because like I think this year, like McDavid and Draisaitl have been good. They've been really good. Obviously, they always are. Like these guys always show up for playoffs, but But the scoring, their depth scoring has been good. Stuart Skinner, as long as he doesn't like completely implode again, which could happen at any moment, and that's the problem with picking the Oilers, right? Is Stuart Skinner can implode at any moment. Whereas I don't think that would happen to Sergei Bobrovsky at this point.
So, AJ, what do you prognosticate?
Oh, sorry, I'm supposed to say. So give the thing. I'm gonna say Cats in 6.
Cats and 6.
Yeah.
Ooh.
AJ, what are you thinking?
You know, I played this game a couple years ago with Jerk, and I was very much kind of like, well, you know, it's just so rare to see a team repeat.
Yeah.
You know,
Right.
we've only seen it happen a handful of times over the last couple of decades, whether it was Detroit or Pittsburgh or Tampa. And so I sit there and, you know, and it's like, well, if you're going to bet the odds are not a repeat. But if you look at the last, I don't know, decade, the Sun Belt owns hockey.
Yeah.
Tampa 3 times or whatever, Vegas, Florida. It's like, how the hell does the Sun Belt own Canada's sport? But somehow it does. I'm with Ian. I'm taking the Cats. You know, I hate doing the number thing, but, you know, I think it'll be 6 or 7. But as I stated earlier when Ian was watching the game, I'm very much I feel like the Panthers have gotten better as the playoffs have gone on.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could say that about Edmonton. And it's just, I mean, are we going to let the curse go after just 32 years? Like, a little bit more. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you go back to the days of the California, you know, domination, and yeah, they didn't win all of them, but you had on California, you had on Florida and Vegas. I mean, it's very nice. You look at Dallas, who's been in 3 straight conference finals. I mean,
Yeah, dude, the Sun Belt is just king right now. But also, let me tell you this: how bad would it be for the United States if Canada actually won the cup? Because then that increases the price of Canada to become the 51st state.
Oh my God.
No?
Sorry, real quick. Easton Cowan, as Ian predicted, Memorial Cup MVP.
Yep.
Oh
So.
my God, Toronto actually got a playoff MVP. Good job, Toronto.
Jesus.
Oh.
Oh my God!
man.
I'm sure Dango's going live right now to talk about.
Yeah, I know, right? Sorry, Dangle, love you, but
It's not the first time. I guy named Mitch Marner
well,
did.
Mitch Marner was also a MVP for the London, so
But
you know.
but also
Future Shark Mitch Marner. Sorry.
Oh my God, Easton Cowan was picked right after Quentin Musty, if I'm not mistaken, correct? In fact, I think a
It
lot
was
of-
shortly
She
after. Yeah, it was
just-
around
She
the
just
yeah.
said future shark Mitch Marner.
I just to put,
Yeah.
to
Can you
put salt in
unplug
the
her
wound.
mic, Eric?
Future Shark?
Hey, they have about $30 million to spend.
They have $40 million in cap space
And no defense.
and no defense.
What are you talking about? The whole blue line is signed.
Mitch Marner is the best,
And it all
defenseman on the Sharks.
sucks.
It does.
Best
also.
D-man. He will help our defense. He's a defenseman for the Sharks. There you go.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Sorry.
Okay. Phone drop, literally. Jeez.
Mic drop. I'm out.
All right.
Well, what?
She's getting excited over here. It's crazy.
Oh my God. Okay. You
What?
want to hear the sillies?
Okay.
I'll give you some sillies.
I'm scared.
NHL rumor report on Twitter, which is, you know,
Such an accurate posting.
exactly.
I do know
Yeah.
exactly
That
what
says
it is.
Dave Pagnotta is saying the Sharks are looking to trade up from pick 2 to pick 1 to
Right.
get Schaefer, which I think is very funny because I've looked around. The quote unquote NHL rumor report is the only thing I can see that is saying that. But even funnier is somebody retweets on top. Okay, get your fucking paper out because this is hysterical. In order to move up from 2 to 1, the
Mhm.
Sharks are going to trade to the Islanders, obviously second overall.
Yeah.
So they're
Pick
that's
swap.
how much they're. I mean, are you kidding? Plus Dickinson,
Oh, hell no.
No. It gets better.
Oh my God.
Or Chernyshov.
Fuck off.
No.
Yeah. And the 25 Dallas first that they had. So 30th.
So we're trading
Two of our top prospects?
30.
No. I
one
said
of them, one or
no.
the
I
other.
said
Chernyshov.
second overall plus Dickinson or Chernyshov.
So one of our two of our top
Yeah.
prospects. Got it. Okay.
Yeah. And the 25 first they have from Dallas or the 26 Edmonton first.
Yeah, also if you click on that
No.
comment, if you click on the
No.
like the thing and scroll to the comment section, someone says Celebrini has to be a part of the package.
Yeah.
Oh
course
my
they do.
God.
Yeah.
And then I love this other one. It's
Sure.
like Sharks could also add like they didn't have enough. Like, get the fuck out of here.
It's
Yeah,
like
this has to be an Islanders fan, right? Or a Blackhawks fan.
At this,
No,
at
it's
this
some guy
point-
named Mike Bartner. It just says hockey content creator,
he's
which
an
to me,
Islanders
it
fan.
just
Content
says
creator.
No
hockey
hate for
content
him. No
creator
hate
is
for
just
him.
another
I
way
love
to
him.
say fucking clickbait fisher.
It's like, so in that case, I'll
It's
just take
clickbait
Misa.
fisherman.
So
and
can
keep
I just say
everybody.
something? I love Mike Bartner. He's great, but that is clearly a biased
Oh my
Islander fan
God.
talking.
I don't know who the fucking guy
I know
is,
who
and that is clearly a moron talking.
No, that's just
Just the
I
fandom
think
coming
that's
out.
just that's just the fan in him coming out.
No,
He's-
don't
but
care.
that's why I hate social media. It's like, no. I just want to like read something that's truthful, thoughtful, something like that. To sit there and spew garbage like that,
No.
fuck out of
the
here.
gap between Schaefer and Misa is not as big as people think it
Man,
is,
it's
right?
So fuck,
Like-
that's why I
No, I
wish
think-
social
look-
media didn't exist.
Go ahead, Ian.
To me, they're in the same tier. Like there's
Yeah,
it's them.
Oh, put
if
up
there's
Crafty.
like if you're putting like a group of like basic like tiers together for as far as like the top of this draft goes, it's Misa Schaefer, and then there's the next group, which is going to be like your Martones, your Hagens, your Desnoyers, your Frundell, maybe. Yeah, Frundell. I'd probably
Frendell's
put
in
him
there.
Do you put Crafty Koala's comment up for me, please?
It's like
It's like
the onion of-
Yeah, like that like that's Twitter right there.
Yeah.
The onion of hockey.
Hey, but Celebrini has to be part of the package if we're trading
Yeah,
up, right,
totally.
boys?
Right. You know.
Like you have
And
to put in
Askarov. And Askarov.
and Askarov and Smith.
And Smith, you blow up the whole rebuild just to get.
Hey guys,
Matthew
why
Schaefer.
don't we rebuild what we've rebuilt?
You know what would be really fucking funny? Like if this guy wanted to go super duper sadistic sarcasm, the trade would be like, okay, they get the second and Dickinson, and the Sharks have to sign Ferraro for another 8 years.
Right.
It's part of the trade.
It's part of the trade.
Like
credit,
that's part of the trade. The Sharks have to make this other deal.
Right.
I'm totally fine. Like I look at Matthew Schaefer would be nice, right? And if there was a situation where the Islanders do something silly, like and Matthew Schaefer's a Shark, I'd be ecstatic. But like I'm just as pumped to get Michael Misa.
Oh heck yeah.
Michael Misa and Celebrini as your Misa as your 1-2 punch. No one's complaining, right? Like
No.
we're still getting a good player. Like me and Ian have on this podcast says we love Misa.
Yeah.
Like we've been on this hype train for a while here. Like he's no bum. Like
I mean, Eric, we have talked about this before as big Giants fans.
Right.
The San Francisco Giants won 3 titles, and if you look at the teams that were put together that won those titles, the pitching homegrown, the infield largely homegrown. Yeah, okay, they got Scudero and everything like that.
Scudero,
But some
yeah.
key pieces were all homegrown, but the outfield, every time they went out and bought the outfield. And it's I would hope it's the same thing for the Sharks, where it's like you have you got that piece at the goaltender position with Askarov. I hope to hell, I don't think it's going to happen this season necessarily. I hope to hell they find somebody to slot in, because if I hear Josh's name one more time, I'm going to throw up. But it's like you got to find somebody to pair with Askarov. But
Josh-
if
you mean Jake Allen?
or Jake, excuse me, Jake.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's like I'm so tired of hearing Jake Allen's name. But Josh Allen. Why do I know the name Josh Allen?
Just because he's
Oh,
a football
the
player, you
quarterback of the,
Yeah.
the
Football.
Buffalo Bills.
Okay.
And Giants fan, by the way.
Yes, but if the front end of the team, if the top 9 is like, oh my God, Celebrini and Smith and Chernyshov, and it's just, and you just keep Misa, you just keep pulling quality names out of your ass. Where, hey, maybe this is kind of a little bit of an Edmonton Oilers thing, where it's like the forwards are so ridiculously talented,
Right.
and this team is going to put 4, 5, 6 goals on you every night. Yeah, are they going to allow 3 or 4 every night? Yeah, but it's going to be a boat race. So let's see that. But at some point, Greer has this ridiculous amount of cap, but he also has this window where guys are still on their ELCs that maybe he can, move some pieces on the chessboard around and get some solid pieces in. Hopefully there's some ancillary defensemen that look at this and go, yeah, I am going to go to San Jose. Taxes be damned. Be damned missing the playoffs for the last 4, 5, 6 seasons, blah, blah, blah. They're on the come up. This is where I need to be for the next 5 years. Cause
I think the tax conversation is so overblown at this point.
But it continues.
No one was talking about it 10 years ago.
Yeah. But okay, then. So what does that tell you though? Was it a thing 10 years ago?
It was. I'm sure it was. I don't think taxes changed. I don't think it was like, I mean, everyone's talking, oh, you can't do it because of the cap. You can't, the cap and the advantage. Well, the Edmonton Oilers, I think they're upper.
Well, I think it has to do with the player and their position in the league. Like if you have a guy who's 23, hasn't done fuck all yet, he's happy to get any deal that he can get. He's not worried about anything. Then look at a player that has, I don't know, who's say 28, 29, who maybe has won a cup, is looking to get there's the front half of your career. He's looking to get the back 9, if you will, of a contract. And if there's 2 teams that come out of the woodwork and they're both, they're going to be up, maybe they're going to be down. We're not sure, but one of them is in a no tax state. One is New York and the other one is Dallas. Both teams that are kind of, decent right now. Which way you're going to go?
They're going to go with the better chance of winning. That's because that's what NHL players do. Like, I think, and yes, okay, so like the no tax teams have done really well, but we talked about this last weekend.
Right now,
those teams, but they're good for a reason. They're good because they're properly run hockey franchises. Like, look at Dallas. Dallas, like all those guys, those are guys that Dallas drafted and developed.
Now, let me ask you this.
No, you need
how
palm
much
trees,
does it
guys.
pucker the asses of Canadians to look at how well run Dallas and Florida have been over the last 5 years? And so looking at like Toronto going, why can't you do this?
Yeah, that's the problem, right? Like they've been well-run franchises and players are going to go where they can win. And if those are the teams that are winning, look at guys went to LA all the fucking time. Last time I checked, LA has some of the highest taxes in the country, but when they were winning, guys had no fucking problem going there. Why? Because they were winning Stanley Cups or they were on the precipice of winning Stanley Cups. Florida's winning Stanley Cups. Tampa's won Stanley Cups. Dallas, for some reason, can't get over the hump, but they're right there every year. Like,
they won that cup 26 years ago, man.
That's true. You know what I mean? So like the players are going to go where they think they can win. Like I just think it's a lot of like, and you're hearing a lot of the tax conversation, but where is it coming the most from? Canadian fucking media. Oh, I wonder why. Agents. Maybe because Canadian media fucking owns the Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, it's the agents.
Agents. I'm sure agents.
You guys are missing the main thing, the main issue here. There's no palm trees in certain areas.
That's true.
God. But I mean, the biggest point I think right now, the selling point is
tax.
Yes.
Do you not remember Kevin Adams' quote that like blew up?
What was that?
About why Buffalo couldn't get Trouba because there's no palm trees there. Like we don't have palm trees, that's why it's hard for us to attract players. Basically along those lines.
It's not like
Am I the only one who remembers
for
this?
like 12 years.
Oh yeah, no, that too. Am I the only? Okay, anyways.
I mean, it's just. I think turn this off now as they took their group shot there. Yeah, I mean, that's where Celebrini and Smith are laying the groundwork for like the likes of eventually Dickinson and such. I mean, let's be honest here. If the Sharks pick number 2 in last year's draft, does Tyler Toffoli think about it? Maybe a little bit because he wanted a
It'd
permanent
be closer to home.
spot, but I mean, you start using those building blocks with Celebrini, and then you see Toffoli having the sleepover with milk and cookies. You know, the little buildup. I mean, how many times? I mean, we're guilty of it too with the vibes that were going on. I mean, how much is the vibes going to be a big selling point for anybody that wants to come down to San Jose to start turning this thing around? That's going to be a
The
big one in the
vibes.
future.
It's
So-
good. Winning's gonna
so
matter.
sick
What's
of
gonna
the
matter
word
is
vibe.
fucking winning. Like, I'm so tired of hearing with the vibes, man.
Yeah, me too. I'm sick of hearing the word vibe. I'm
I'm tired of the most fun last place team in the league. Trust me, if this continues for any
Yeah.
more stretch of time, I don't think like if they're as bad next year as they were this year, I wonder how much they're all smiling by the end of the season after a second
Exactly.
season of this. Like,
But I'm so
I'm
tired
so
of hearing vibe. I'm so sick of hearing goat. Like sports fans have
I'm the
ruined the term goat.
Oh yeah, no, I get that one big time. Rockin' Jaws with a $4.99 super chat. Thank you so much. I hope Greer reaches out to Buffalo on a trade. That GM is losing his mind, and Greer could steal one of their top players.
And couldn't Greer just sit there and go, hey, remember how much time of my career I lost there? Help me out.
help me out. Buffalo is such a fucked up situation too, right? Because like
Don't
obviously,
trade JJ Paterka.
well, and this is the problem, right? Is like they've let guys obviously like they need to figure out how to get people happy there, and I think doing something during
Winning.
the regular season would help.
At
Winning
some
would
point, I feel
probably
like the
help that.
NHL needs to step in and go, Buffalo, you suck. We're going to move you to Phoenix
Just
for 5
contracting. Um,
Man, and
But, like-
Buffalo's like one of the top rated TV markets.
Or
They
move
were.
Buffalo,
They
the
were.
Sabres
Those
to
days are
Quebec
long
for
gone.
5 years.
Right.
Move them to Quebec.
They don't have
Fuck it.
palm trees. That's why they suck.
well,
Guys,
no, but here's the problem, right? Like the problem here is but look at all the guys that they have moved on and have gone on to do big things elsewhere. Like at some point that bleeding has to stop. Like if you're like, doesn't that bleeding have to stop if you're the Buffalo Sabres?
Yeah.
It's like, guess what? You're under contract. Suck it up. You're not going anywhere. We're not moving you. Now, obviously, if someone gets too malcontent, then you have to consider that situation. But I just, at some point in Buffalo, like that bleeding has to stop. However, if they're like wanting to unmove one of their young pieces, and the Bytes isn't silly, and Mike Greer should definitely make a phone call.
But you say at some point the bleeding has to stop. But how many years in a row did the Sharks go to the playoffs? Like 15 or 16 years?
15, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. At some point, somebody had to have been saying, like, at some point, the winning has to stop.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So it's the inverse. So I don't know. Has it been 15 years for Buffalo yet?
Next year.
Getting there, man.
They first got to trade for Erik Karlsson,
Oh
and
my
then it
God.
can stop.
Hold on. Wasn't Eichel in Buffalo?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there
Eichel,
you go.
Sam Reinhart.
Eichel,
And what did
Ryan
they
O'Reilly.
get for Eichel, by the way? What did they get
Reinhart.
for Eichel?
Ryan
they get
O'Reilly.
for Eichel. They got
Tuck.
Tuck, a 15th overall pick that I don't remember. Rosen, I think is his name.
Mhm.
So far, what you're telling me, a massive underpay.
Well, it depends. Like again, because like when you do draft picks, right? Like it's hard because like it's
Magic
That
beans.
draft was also horrid in my
the draft wasn't good, magic beans, but you also have to give guys like a time to kind of figure out what they are too. Like I think we're really quick to like just be, oh, that's the worst pick ever, and then it's like a year out from the draft, and it's like,
Well, let me
come on,
throw
man.
out a question to the room. Does Mike Greer offer sheet somebody?
they
no.
don't have the picks they don't have the picks
don't
to
have their
do
own
one
third.
that, well, that's the problem, right? Like they could do an offer sheet and maybe they can make a team blink, but I think for the amount that if you're for the type of player that you would want to spend draft capital on, like I don't think you do. And not only that, but like the Sharks are going to be, they should be better next year. They should take a step, but that step's not going to include the playoffs. So you're still in the lottery. Do you really want to trade a shot at Gavin McKenna? I don't.
I wouldn't trade our first pick for a Matthew Knives or a JJ Paterka this year, right? That just doesn't make sense, right? And also, like the guys, like Ian said, like the only guys that maybe consider, like you could look at a guy like, oh my God, what's his face, Maverick Bork, sure, but like Dallas will probably match anything you throw at him, and you don't have your third round pick.
Well,
Right,
who's
so
the,
you got
who's
to-
the young defensive guy on the come up that's 23, 24 that the Sharks take a stab at? maybe overpay.
I think you just wait. Because again, like you don't the nightmare scenario is you trade your first round pick, you get that guy, and then the lottery balls go your way in June, and you just gave someone Gavin McKenna.
No, and I totally get that with you, but it's a business, and when they're trying to sell season ticket holders on buying tickets, they're going to go, yeah, so missed 6 straight years, looking to miss a 7th, but yeah, by all means, jump on the bus.
Yeah, no, I don't think you, unless you're blowing it out of the park, you don't give up a chance at Gavin McKenna, because Gavin McKenna is going to be another one of those guys. Like this draft is kind of but like Gavin McKenna is him, and
He's
you're going to hear that
insane.
name so much
I get
next
that.
year.
Oh, Mama Puck Mom.
Mama
Puck.
Mama Puck.
That's a new name.
Yeah, Puck Mom in the house.
Yes, she's on. Show, give your hand back up. Day to day.
Man, see,
no.
that's
Body
what
injury.
happens when you smack the crap out of your son. You gotta,
God, you have no
He
idea.
took a puck to the face.
Dun-dun.
Say it looks like you took a huge puck to the wrist or something. What happened?
I had surgery.
Carpal tunnel?
I had carpal tunnel, and I think it's something called the triangular whatever on the wrist.
The
Oh, no.
Bermuda triangle?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just one of those things. Hasta luego.
Hasta.
amigo.
Thank you.
Mom. See you soon.
Not to give any free ads, but this water's great.
It's not
That is water. That is water. So
Water.
energy drink.
no, it is not.
Liquid death.
It's liquid death is not an energy drink. All right, moving on. Before
in a can.
Oh, I feel like it's getting close to wrap up time.
yeah, I think it is. So we'll see how that goes. We should mention Game 1 of the Cup Final begins on Wednesday. All games begin at 5 p.m. local time in the Pacific time zone, 8 o'clock out east where Ian's at. We will have a Stanley Cup Final after dark after each game. It is on TNT, so Channel 7.
I will rank the oceans.
Channel 7 can't be arm twisted into doing a post game after a Stanley Cup Final game.
Well, they don't have anybody employed that would know what the hell they're talking about.
You're right. So you've been seeing the schedule on there. It's Wednesday, Friday, Monday for the first 3 games of the Cup Final. The first 2 in Edmonton.
Friday, Monday. I think the worst nights for sports, but go ahead.
Wednesday, Friday, Monday are the days that.
Who the fuck picked that? Sorry.
Well, and again, it goes
2-day
to
travel days.
building availability, as they say.
In most travel, usually there's a 2-day break after travel days in the Stanley Cup Final as well.
Yeah, they usually
but
do
still,
that.
It's the case of like you look at L.A. That's why there's so many times that the Kings don't host games on Saturday because the venue is usually booked for a concert.
Or they've had an afternoon game and then the Lakers play Saturday night or something
Yeah, that
like that.
too.
Yeah.
It's building availability.
So, speaking of which, for Panthers fans, so Game 1 Wednesday night. Thankfully, it's there. But is this going to work? No, of course not. Why would anything work? The Winter Classic tickets go on sale Wednesday. So have fun figuring out how much money you're going to blow to the hockey world on Wednesday for Cup Final tickets for next Monday, for the following Monday, or Winter Classic tickets that apparently have cobwebs in the seats of Lone Depot Park.
Yeah, but
What?
you understand how smart that is to put that sale on now in the middle of the Cup Final, just in case the Panthers lose, because people would be sour if they lost. But to
Right.
put those tickets on sale right in the middle, the Cup champs are here to defend their title. Let's put these tickets on sale for the stadium. Dude, those things will sell out in 40 minutes.
It'll be crazy. So, all right, let's get out of here. I mean, Jules is like,
Sunscreen's extra.
yes, that right. And so are one-way flights from Edmonton to Miami. So, in case you missed anything or want to watch this again, check us out on tealtownusa.com or wherever you get your podcasts. The audio version will be up shortly. Of course, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that like button. It does help us out a long way. Subscribe to the channel. Notification bell also will be helpful so you know when we do go on the air. I'll begin with you, Mr. Strong, for your final thoughts.
I'm laughing right now because I just hit up Twitter and Marner is trending, and there's one guy who posts, "I will kill myself if Marner goes to the Panthers, Knights, Flyers, or Capitals." Like,
Man,
that
Let's
seems.
not get too ridiculous.
I feel like that might be an overreaction.
Just a
I feel-
skosh.
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, no. My final thought is no Marner in San Jose. No, thank you. No, thank. We already have one Mitch here, and he's already enough. If you know, you know.
Wow.
All right, Ian, my friend, thank you for streaming the Memorial Cup on the Discord.
Yeah.
You are no longer to be a massive diehard London Knights fan, so
Oh no, fuck London. Like,
there we go.
we're back, baby.
Holy Christ, dude!
Oh man.
Big
That felt
things
so good.
stay for 500.
That felt so good. Yeah, look at I think thanks for letting me join late and talking about some shit here. Coming up, I gotta sit down and actually figure out when we're doing it, but we're gonna do some draft stuff obviously very soon. We probably should get on that sooner than later, so stay tuned for that. I don't have any exact dates or anything yet, but it's definitely coming because it's kind of getting to that time. Now the Memorial Cup's over and there's less things to do and more days where there's not hockey to watch. We'll start working on that. So stay tuned for that. That'll be coming, I promise. Aside from that, I don't know. I mean, yeah, when the Sharks do good, it's good.
I bullied
Even
Ian
doing
to
it.
actually having a board this year.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually have a board. I haven't had a board in a long time.
Nice. Jules?
I don't know.
Okay, cool. Until then.
No, wait, hold on. Give me a second.
Hold on, can I ask? Was that spelled BORED?
Yes.
Absolutely. Listen, it's like 1,000 degrees in this room that
Shut
Puck Guy's
up.
sitting in right now. I don't know
Is
how.
that because Puck Guy's that close to you?
No, this is my father, sir. Let's no, like my well, no, he's not actually my adopted father. It's a. You know.
Oh, I'm gonna start calling her Luke then. You're my father.
Go ahead, Beth.
What was I gonna say? No, listen. Let's to summarize it. Oilers are winning the cup. This will come
Okay.
back to backfire me. And when the Sharks do
I
mid,
hope it does.
it's mid. Shut up, AJ. Love you, but shut the fuck up.
As for me, I'll go. I think Oilers in 7. I think it's gonna continue again. Although my thing is, I would love for Game 7 to go into overtime. I think that would be.
Please.
I think that would be.
We'll go live for that.
Yeah, we'll probably go live for that for Game 7 overtime. But I would look forward to that indeed. So that'll do it for us.
Give me Jeff Skinner game winner.
Oh God.
Jesus Christ.
Guy plays in 2 freaking playoff games. And
Points
plays
in both of them.
Points in both of them, and all of a sudden everybody's, but he's better than Logan Couture again. Yeah, shut up. Okay. We'll be back with you on Wednesday following Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final. We'll be taking that series all the way through and then a lot more content on the here. So make sure you are subscribed. And until then, thanks for watching. Keep it real. Keep it teal. Keep it real, teal. Have a great night, everyone. We will see you following Game 1 of the Stanley Cup Final.